If you tuned into the news or social media today, you likely heard about a mercenary army marching on Moscow, helicopter battles, Russian soldiers desperately erecting roadblocks on the roads to Moscow, with rumours of Putin flying to St. Petersburg and Lukashenko fleeing Belarus for Turkey, with the fall of the current Russian government imminent. As it turned out, Prigozhin turned around 200 kilometers from Moscow and is sending his troops back to their barracks. Criminal charges against him have been dropped, he's flying to Belarus, and now there are going to be major changes in the Russian military leadership as part of the deal to get him to stop his coup. So, what really just happened? The most interesting and arguably, with the benefit of hindsight, most accurate take of the day came from geopolitical strategist Belina Chakarova, who argued that it wasn't a coup at all, but pre election canvassing by Vladimir Putin, using Prigozhin to deflect blame for the war in Ukraine onto the military leadership and cementing his power in Moscow. Belina tweeted out, "This is not a coup by Prigozhin. This is an inner war between the St. Petersburg gang of Putin and the Moscow gang of Gerasimov and Shoigu. This is the beginning of Putin's election campaign to become re-elected on March 17, 2024. His lapdog Prigozhin is masquerading a coup to put the blame on Gerasimov and Shoigu for losing the war against Ukraine. Prigozhin can always be scapegoated if he fails like this happened in the past." While this analysis was initially met with, well, shall we say skepticism, by the end of the day it's starting to look like the most accurate interpretation of events. Just as the Wagner column was a couple of hours away from Moscow, Prigozhin abruptly turned around, saying he didn't want any Russian blood spilt and that he'd made his point. He isn't even going to face charges for this insurrection. The criminal investigation against him has been dropped, a significant change from the headlines pushed by TASS this morning that he would be prosecuted for armed mutiny. But interestingly, as part of this deal to call off the march on Moscow, there are now reports that there will be major changes in the Ministry of Defense, with some reports that Gerasimov and Shoigu will be removed. Belina's tweet over her morning coffee is starting to look pretty prescient. This drama also brings into the Russian consciousness the idea that any problems in Ukraine were in the Defense Department rather than with Putin himself, and who knows, might even be a good excuse for a little purge or two. Things can of course change quickly, and this is still an ongoing situation, but credit where credit's due, Belina's definitely been more right than anyone else.